Hi everyone, welcome to Gardening with P. I'm going to show you how I plant my seeds in the spring and transplant them in the summer. Here we have 2 kits. I'm filling them with potting mix. You can do seed starting mix, potting mix. It really doesn't matter in the experience that I've had. Just dump whatever you can into the cells. Try to spread it out evenly. And if you don't get enough the first time, it's okay. You can come back later and add more when you need it. As you can see in this next part, the dirt was already kind of wet, so I didn't add as much water as you usually do. If it comes to your hand in a solid-like form and it sticks to your fingers, you usually don't need to add any water, but I did in this case because I was making a video. As you can see, I dumped the excess water out and I brought the containers inside to be ready to plant the seeds. So this is the first seed that we're planting. It's the tomato seed. It's a Roma tomato. On the back you can see it says to start indoors in a well-lit area and plant 6 to 8 weeks. So in Indiana, that is about the time that we're doing it. It's kind of the end of March, the beginning of April. It just depends on how late you want to plant them into the summer. And all seed packets will show you information that is important, such as how much sun that you need, how far apart to plant them, and how deep to plant them. And it's important to pay attention to that. In this next part, I didn't have any of the labeling utensils that usually come with these kits, so I improvised and I used toothpicks and duct tape and just wrote what I was planting on them. Sometimes the kits don't come with that, and it's okay to just put whatever helps you remind what you plant where. Once you have labeled all of your rows with the seeds you are planting, you can go ahead and open the packets. And sometimes the seeds don't like coming out all at once. That's okay. You just kind of gotta get them out of there. And they are relatively small. If you do have trouble gripping the seeds, I recommend just getting a handful of them and sprinkling them at least 2 to 3 in each cell. And you can do this by either creating a hole with a Sharpie like I'm doing here, or you can use your finger, whichever is easiest for you to do. Either way, just make a shallow hole about maybe a 1/4 inch deep, not very deep at all, because we want the seeds to be able to pop up with little resistance to the soil on top. I usually take about 2 to 3 seeds and plant them in each hole. If you get a little more in there, it's okay. Then just lightly pack the dirt over it and they'll be fine. Now, if you find that your cells need a little more soil, just go ahead and grab a couple handfuls and you should be able to break up the clumps and just add a little more. It's okay. You also don't need to worry about watering them because we already watered it before and they're going to sit overnight. This is just an example I put on here of how all seed packets don't look the same. they will say the same information, relatively similar to each other, but there's just different ways of presenting the information. Also, depending on the brand, sometimes you get more seeds and sometimes you get less seeds. In this case, we just happened to not receive a lot of seeds for our sweet bell peppers, but that's okay, it happens. So this is our first year planting herbs. I did not get the chance to plant any herbs last year, so I'm kind of winging it right now. I'm going to try to plant them in these cells and then transplant them later. So we will see how this turns out because it's an experiment for everybody. Usually we just plant vegetables, but I got these free seeds from one of my friends who works at a public library near us. And if you didn't know, most libraries, I guess in Indiana, they hand out free seeds during the planting season. So if you're wanting to start up your own little garden and you're on a budget, I highly recommend reaching out to your local library or to your local 4-H. So as you can see, we have planted all of our seeds, and some of these kits will come with a little plastic top and some won't. I had one that came with it and I had one that didn't come with it. If you don't have a plastic top, you can put some saran wrap on top and just cover it up. I also recommend getting a heat lamp. I bought this last year. It's actually a UV light, not a heat lamp. I apologize for that. And I keep them on during the day since I don't have any windows in my house facing the south, and it seems to do pretty well. I don't recommend doing them overnight, but at least keep them on for a majority of the day while the seedlings are germinating.